Hello and welcome back to Operations with Void. I'm your host, Forgotten Void, and this week, as you have requested, we are doing the Pozharsky. Now, the sound might be a little bit different. I just picked up a new mic this past weekend because my old mic was failing, so there's that. Anyways, the Pozharsky, um, she is very similar to another premium Russian cruiser called the Kutuzov. The big difference is Pozharsky is available for coal, whereas Kutuzov is currently not available for purchase in the game outside of possibly Santa containers or super containers, but otherwise it's not available. Pozharsky, they're both otherwise they're both the same hull, same everything, with the only difference being equipment. So the equipment, so Pozharsky gets only armor piercing, nothing but armor piercing. It's really good armor piercing, but nothing but armor piercing. And then you have 4-kilometer torpedoes. I believe Kutuzov gets 8 kilometers, so that's another change. You have hydro or DFA, and then you have the British short burst smoke generator. Instead of a long smoke that Kutuzov gets for farming, you only get a short burst. So they doubled down. So you only get a short burst and you don't get HE. So they double down on the complaints of Kutuzov. Now, as for consumables, I have main battery armaments, engine protection, aiming system mod, prop, and concealment. These are just your standard recommended. Yeah, a module. So you can just click mount recommended and it'll get all of these. As for the captain, I just picked out a captain that I had 21 points. So we have last stand, priority target. We have superintendent, concealment expert, radio location, top grade gunner, and adrenaline rush. However, if I was going to build a captain specifically for here, well, the only real difference is I'd take out superintendent and probably use it for survivability expert or possibly focus fire training and grease the gears. But otherwise, the other stuff, the other things are things that I would like to use. Radio location is, well, that's just for Raptor Rescue. But concealment is to get you in before you can use your smoke so you can be in range to get good shots when you're in your smoke. And with that, let's head into battle. So here we are, we're in a Narai. So this is one of the things that you can only get at tier 8 and below. So this is the reason to run tier 7 ships or tier 8 ships, is that for the chance of Narai or killer whale. And so here we are, we're in a 3-man division. It's me, Season, and Lord Hollander. Go ahead, check out Lord Hollander's gaming center. He plays a bunch of different games. He's also an Ops main. He started out in YouTube with Ops and some other Water Warship stuff. So the link to his stuff is, his channel is in the description below. Anyways, so here we are. This is actually the first game I've run Pozharsky in a really long time, so I am way leading the Emil. Haven't quite gotten the lead in right, and so I keep over leading, and so we're just getting over pens because Pozharsky actually has really good penetration. So I don't actually shoot at forts in this battle, but I played it in Killer Whale earlier, and even though these run 152s, so they are light cruisers, you can still penetrate forts from 13 kilometers away, which most other cruisers, light cruisers, cannot. Most other light cruisers have to be under 10. But Pozharsky, with its really high penetration armor piercing, we're going to shoot a fort here. You don't have to be this close. Like most light cruisers, you can be 12 kilometers away and just pen like it was nothing. And there we go. There's are standard, the actual Git citadels. So Pozharsky is actually really, really, really good at citadels. Season, who's on our team, when Pozharsky first came out, he took it into Aegis, was getting 60 or more citadels with Pozharsky, and this is because the alpha on Pozharsky is a bit low. It's 3,300 damage. That's the maximum damage. The 127s on an IGN destroyer, for example, their maximum alpha is 2,200 for AP. So these are really low for, I guess, what's another ship that, let's go with Chappie, for example. So Chapayev, who also has 152, is the, I guess that's right. It's Chappie's only armor piercing 33. Huh. They are, they're pretty low. I guess that's just a cruiser thing. Or maybe I'm just too used to Russian cruisers with the much higher armor piercing values. So, my bad. I was under the impression that it was really low, but no, it is standard. It is standard armor piercing, which I guess, for a light cruiser that I'm just used to heavy cruisers or German light cruisers. But yeah, there we are. Bunch of citadels, and there's no more Legal. So the thing, yeah, that is basically Pozharsky's thing. Really good penetration, right? Not even full broadside Leander, and we were able to get a citadel there. So now we're moving up. Like, we could hide for a little bit longer, but we're moving up because we shouldn't be in too much danger with our allies also really high ahead. So since I'm not the closest, I don't mind going out and shooting. And getting a little bit of damage here and there. The full pens is really, really nice. And so we're going around this island just to, I mean, yes, I could stay by that, but this is just, at this point, it's just habit that I go around this island. We could have just stayed back there and not gone around the island. But now we're going to get into position to take out the carrier. And so I was turning my guns around, but then I saw a Cleveland there. And Cleveland needs to be shot at. So we are going to sap the sapper. If we can get more Citadel hits. Come on. There we go. There's two more. There's another. And now we can't shoot at it anymore. But half health on a Cleveland. I'll take that. And we'll do one more salvo against the Wakeful before we turn our guns away. And now I see on the mini-map that the destroyer is going in, so I don't really have to worry about it. Which means I only have a Lexington and an Omaha there. And at this point in time, I'm just going to sit here and sit back. Yes, I have torps. That doesn't mean I have to use them. They are 4-kilometer torps. I'd rather not get into secondary range because the Lexington secondaries are a little bit strong. And I see here that people are shooting at the Omaha. I'm a little bit upset. There's destroyers in front of them, and they're shooting at the Omaha. Like, if you're going to shoot at something, you shoot at something that's dangerous to you. And they're okay. Now the destroyers are dead. Don't take my damage. It's my Omaha damage. I'm over it. So now we're shooting at the Lexington. She does have a bit of a belt, so I'm trying to find a point that can be easy to hit without just overpetting. And now I see the Talon from behind me shooting. And we went for the Omaha first because the Omaha shoots back, whereas the Lexington only shoots back if you're close up. So now we're going to go take out the Lexington. And so if I was in torp range, yes, Lexington would be shooting back at me. But since I'm not in torp range, we're just going to shoot armor piercing at the broadside. But if I was closer, I probably could have gotten more Citadel hits, killed it faster. You know, a give and take. Safety over TPM. But also sitting back here allows me to go into the harbor in the center, rather than having to go up north where the Talon is going. So for me, I guess if I was sitting back, I could turn my guns around. But with the guns turning as slow as they are, I would be up where... So I'd be up against the border, and that's not really in a good spot to shoot. I mean, for some of the ships it is, but for the most, it isn't really. So we're going to go, and we are going to start with Omaha there. So now that my guns are in a good position, we are going to take out this Omaha, maybe. Nope, Akatsuki did, because Akatsuki armor piercing is scary. It is very scary. It's really high, scary high DPM, even though it doesn't do all that much damage per shell. Yeah. And so we are looking at maybe we'll torp the Jervis. Maybe. Nah. Because they're 4 kilometers. Like, if it was a 5 kilometer, I would have torped them, but it's just faster to shoot them. The torps are only for self-defense. And I am on the attack. I am not defending. See? Indianapolis, we are attacking. And now that Indianapolis is down, we are using our smoke for the second time, and this is why Superintendent really isn't necessary, because you're not going to use your smoke all that much. I mean, some maps maybe, but most maps not really. You'll end up with more smoke than you need. Usually 4 is usually enough. Even with them being short duration and short burst. And we are getting really, really, really lucky. I just want to say this is just luck right here that the QE has not been able to pen us and delete us. And now we have the Chapayev and the Colorado. So we're actually going to shoot at the Colorado. We're going to wait for the Chapayev to give us a better broadside before shooting at that. And we're going to start chipping away at the Colorado. So the Talon is actually in a really good position to shoot at the Chapayev and all the other cruisers as they come in. But Talon is also at a really good position to get shot at. So that's why they're bow in. If they were broadside in, they would be they would have been destroyed much earlier. And there we go. We finally got Citadels and took out the Chapayev. And so at this point, just shooting armor piercing at a broadside battleship is really, I guess it's cathartic, just getting high damage, because most of them are going to be full pens. The first salvo, we saturated the superstructure with our 10k salvo, and so that's why all the other salvos are much less, as we're going up for the upper belt. And there we go. we only lost one ship. And I mean, the reason why we got 5 stars is because I have 2 other members from my team in my div doing well. They were up in the front, and I mean, we did do nearly 300k damage, 8 kills, 24, but Lord Hollander up in the front with the Turpits doing well, tanking, and then Season going for the transports. And yeah, so most of our damage is just raw armor piercing damage, so there's nothing really surprising there. Same with the ships that we killed. And as for credits, we're using a green booster, so we ended up with 500k since we had all 5 stars. Remember, each star is you lose 10%. For each star lost, you lose 10%. But if you lose the op, you lose everything. So it's always best to go for the primary objective first. With that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have a list now. Thank you for everyone who voted in the previous poll. I have a list now for a few different ships to go through, and then I will post a new poll of ships. I mean, if you want to suggest more ships for the poll, currently, I think we have Colombo and Colombo's sister ship on there, but we'll see what we can do. I hope to see you again next week. Have a good one.